there's anything you want, anything at all, come to me.
Technolize is, if nothing else, a condemnation on the notion of truth. The annals of human history is littered with clairvoyants, religious sects, philosophers, and even scientists who posit that they know the answers. The preeminent question to which they attempt to answer is, what is the meaning of life? But if we ourselves are asking the question, a fabrication of the mind, why should we assume the answer even exists, beyond our own conceptions? Technolize attempts to take a macroscopic view on the history of mankind and all its ill attempts at answering this impossible conundrum. Religion is man's earliest, most persistent attempt at reconciling this problem, but religious truth requires unconditional loyalty, without room for scrutinization, at least from the inside. If such a truth demands blind devotion, it is no truth at all. Furthermore, the notion of heaven is a flawed contrivance that evaporates human nature altogether, eliminating all sense of worth. He who obeys does not listen to himself. The surface utopia is the personification of this religious ideal, a world devoid of primitive emotions and all traces of life. The omission of daily struggles creates a void that cannot be filled with leisurely activities. They resign themselves to a pragmatic death, thus rejecting their own will, and, by default, life itself. The people of the surface are the antithesis of the Übermensch, that being the last man, a being who luxuriates himself in the comforts/securities of the modern culture. Thus he avoids risk, becomes indifferent toward life, and devoid of purpose. He is dejected. The people of the surface have become stagnant and unwilling to break free from their leisurely life to undergo a trial of pain/suffering, to overcome themselves. Yoshi was appalled by their decadence. Hence he abandons them to inject chaos into Lux to give birth to a dancing star. We can never be ourselves in a society of social norms and rules. To follow one's heart, one must act according to one's own will, thus creating a world he can call his own, the will to power. It is not only necessary, it is essential. Life is underlined by the innate urge to rule one's own world. Kazuo Yoshi, a philosopher of sorts, represents the affirmation of life, Nietzsche's Übermensch. With the knowledge of humanity's folly, he seeks to inject Lux with a healthy dose of Dionysian principles, in an effort to wake them up and find a leader who will guide humanity to its next evolutionary stage. Thus, Yoshi acts on his urges, a key component missing from the surface world, and implores others to do likewise. The world is the will to power, and nothing besides. But is this itself an answer, or a cosmic inner force that will eventually lead to self-destruction? Given the ending and the eventual demise of our own universe, perhaps it is all a chasing after the wind. The last inkling of hope, as Enrico da Camata saw it, was through the unbiased veracity of science. But is science a stepping stone toward meaning or a distorted reflection of the universe? Despite the limitless possibilities of scientific discovery, it promised no absolute truth or progress to a greater purpose. God is dead. Heaven is hell. The Übermensch is no savior. Science is not absolute. Therefore, Technolize does not assert answers or perpetuate traditional moral dynamics, i.e. right versus wrong. It presents the ugly reality of life through an artistic medium, lest we perish from the truth.